Hey,
that was the whole question. I asked if it was in Ireland. Somebody told me it was in Germany.
Follow us, bro.
You already clicked off.
We can fix this.
You already clicked off.
You don't know the geographical layouts of countries? Fuck! You guys are fucking drinking Jose Cuervo after putting out the firest hip-hop fucking album.
It's on Virus too.
And you don't know the geographical fucking latitude and longitude of fucking Ireland or Germany? Cause that's what I came for.
No, you came for Cat.
Jesus fucking Christ, bro. I'm sorry. I haven't had to draw the fucking United States or the continent since I was in fucking 8th grade. I'm 32. Holy shit, bro. I'm so fucking sorry. I asked a question. Get mad, dude. I bet that motherfucker doesn't even live in either one of those countries. Why the fuck is he even getting mad, bro?
Oh!
Sweet motherfucking.
Oh! Welcome to Sunshine City, baby. Woo! Here we are.
Lundz Day, bitches!
Hey, 1-3 capital of the world. This is Lundz Day. You already know what time it is. This is your boy, Lundy. It's AKA Das Lunds. Oh! AKA the Bustelo Bachelor.
Woo!
AKA Zanny DeVito. AKA your favorite neighborhood black stepdad. You already know what fucking time it is.
Where did you get Zanny DeVito?
It goes on, man. Thank you guys for coming again on another Tuesday. And today is a very special Tuesday. Not only for me, but I think for the crew. In just a general sense. Because it's Lundz Day. Everybody should fucking just love it. It's Lundz Day, baby. Lundz Day Tuesday. I'm
gonna tell them what Lundz Day is?
I'm trying to. You just cut me off.
Oh, my God.
I just put out a project today. These days, it's available on all streaming platforms. That's right. Wherever you get your music, baby. Wherever you like to stream it, baby. Wherever you like to spend the monies. All the pesos.
Yo, let me interject this guy's negativity real quick. He said, I want to slap the grin off your face.
It's a 9-year-old. Chill, it's a 9-year-old Fortnite god.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yo.
You can't hit him back, you'll go to prison.
Anyway.
All that means is we're doing something right if you want to steal something.
You're still here, right?
You want
right.
to steal this smile? You gotta earn this smile, baby. You gotta earn one.
I earned it.
Why don't we go to our guest Jose over here?
Jose, what do you think?
You know.
Jose,
Yeah.
what are you thinking about Lundz Day?
He knows it's fucking lit. He knows it's about to get lit. It stays lit. We stay lit. Our girls lit. Our group's lit. Our music's lit. That's why we're playing in the background. You already know who I am. So Kona, Sounds Like Kona, at Sounds Like Kona on Instagram. Baby, check him out. All the music you hear in the back right now is made by him. If not made by him, probably made by him. And then me rapping on it. Because that's how we run it. We play our own music. We ain't got to worry about all that. And then, to the furthest of my right, to your crazy left.
Ooh.
See what I did there? I finally realized.
I like that. I like that.
Huddle Vision. You
That's
know
right.
what time it is, girl. Don't.
Is your girl approve of that much chest hair out? Like, when she's not around?
chest hair?
Absolutely. She loves the chest hair. Right? You gotta zoom in on
I
that.
honestly, weird enough, didn't even realize that. He's got like the Dookie chain on and shit too. It's not real at all.
I'm from Florida.
You don't definitely take a shower with that
This
at
is
all. It's
Florida,
gonna turn
dude.
green.
This
I
is
gave him
fucking
that.
Florida.
You gave him that?
I do take a
gave him
shower
that
in
fake
this,
shit?
by the way.
And has your neck turned green yet?
Oh, it's absolutely fake, yeah. No doubt.
Here we go. Alright guys, so right off the bat though, you already saw who our guest was tonight. Chilling by the fire, looking sexy as fuck. Jose Cuervo. You know what time it is.
Mikuchitsky
yeah.
said, greetings from Berlin. What's up, man?
What's up?
You know what? I'm gonna make these dudes do something they probably don't want to do.
Oh, man. Here we go.
We are going to cheers to Jose Cuervo. We're gonna cheers to These Days, coming out on all streaming platforms. You can check it out on Spotify or Apple Music. Look up Lundy, Lundy. These
Yo.
Days.
Jose, I like your cut,
We're gonna
G.
take a Jose Cuervo shot. Let's go.
All
I
right.
just want to say thank you
To
for
Lundy and his album.
all of our hard
You're over
work. Shout out to
I really don't
Rob
want to do
Larry.
this.
This is my favorite song on the album.
Yeah, really?
Yep.
Nice.
Cheers.
Love you guys.
Woo!
Woo! Woo! See? Wasn't that bad, but wakes you up.
It was pretty
That's like
fucking
my
awful.
6th one today, so they need to catch up. Y'all got real reactions out of them. Bro.
I mostly... What the fuck? I mostly drink, Sunshine City, my favorite beer.
I haven't had it yet, but I got one right here, and I'm about to crack that bitch open. Once you
Crack it open. Let's see what we got.
6.8%. Let's go. That's all I care about.
Let's get your official taste. This is my favorite IPA of all time. What do you think?
I got. Hold on.
Ooh, the swish. Swish it around in the mouth. Sun.
IBU.
IBU 68.
So like,
crazy?
For those of you
What
following
kinda-
along at home, IBU stands for International Bitterness Units.
okay, thank you. That's
That's
what I
how
was trying to say. But it
IPAs
is.
are measured.
But it is an IPA, which
Yeah.
I was able to taste. I was trying to figure that out in my taste. I was like, this tastes a lot like an IPA, but I wanted
But
to
a
make
little
sure
lagery.
that I love it.
Sort of
fact.
citrusy,
I
full
definitely
body.
love it.
Kona actually wants to
Citrusy.
open his own brewery.
I do
Did you
eventually.
Really? Is that a thing? This is the first time I've heard about that. That
Yeah.
sounds pretty dope. You know, Jeff works at Brewbus.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he that's basically how he always wanted to, you know, do beer and, you know, make
That's like
one.
kind of
He
a
started doing it at his house, but then started just talking to the right people, and now he's making beer over there.
It's like a retirement plan for me. I like, you know, I want to like have a venue, sort of, you know, a brewery, but we also do shows and a place where I can put on other live acts.
Like I did
and,
at Hidden Springs. I did that show on Halloween around
yeah.
like a couple years ago. Shit was dope. These days,
L's
check
up
it
in
out.
the air, baby.
Please,
L's up.
make
L's
sure-
up.
L's
Oh
up.
god.
L's up in the air. Come on.
Is that we're really gonna like?
We doing
I think we
this.
should,
You
bro.
guys are gonna do that at shows. I'm gonna be
Even
like,
better,
fuck.
bro. We'll connect it. We'll fucking connect them.
It's
Yeah.
backwards. Is it all backwards?
It is all backwards.
Now it's like
Damn.
such a gay
Now we gotta
thing.
do it
You
like
gotta do it
this.
with your left.
You gotta
You
do
gotta
it.
do it with your
All
left.
right.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, there we
Now
go.
we're getting a little
Now we
bit.
touch
Wait.
tips.
I mean, oh. See, man, y'all know how to make some shit weird as fuck. I just want to make a shout out real quick. Kat Dennings, I'm watching you.
Watching her.
I have a project out, and I'm soon gonna be famous. So I just want to let you know I'm coming for you, and I'm ready to treat you like the queen you deserve, so you can just come into my life and ruin it. Just, I want to be so sad with you.
Oh, is she married?
No, dude, she's super single. It's wild, bro. It's
But
so
you're not.
wild.
But you're not.
Oh, dude, Kat Dennings, it doesn't matter. I'm coming for you. This road to success
Literally.
is just to
Literally.
cross your path.
Wait, this is what it's all about? Just for you to
This
cross
is my end game.
Kat Dennings' path?
My end game, yes.
Hey.
My Tony Stark. I love you 3000.
You can find this Spotify, Apple, TikTok, Instagram, however the fuck you do your music thing. It's on that thing.
It's crazy.
Yeah. All right.
Is it? I don't know.
It's crazy. I feel crazy.
I don't know. Alright,
This song's called Crazy.
Lundy,
Hey, how are you?
you beautiful black man. Black brother.
He actually wrote that on his notepad.
Wow.
I didn't write that.
You really wrote it down? Really? That's funny.
What inspired you? Oh wait, hold on, before we get into it. Ethereal Raccoon. Oh dang, I finally caught y'all live again. What up?
Oh!
What's up,
You
bro?
already know what time it is.
He's
Welcome
over
back
there.
in.
He's over there chilling with Jose right now.
Yeah, man. Jose is staying warm, keeping us warm, keeping us all smiles over here. He's just so good looking, so that bottle frame, you know what I mean? What's your workout secret?
Jose, don't work out.
Your name is sexy. You're listening to one song called Crazy right now, and we're just gonna kind of talk about anything and everything as far as what led me up to this point, I guess.
Yeah, bro. So,
Deep dive into my mind, baby.
what inspired you to make this EP and name it These Days? Let's get right into it.
Well, what inspired me to make it, to be completely honest, I actually realized after writing for a good amount of time that I had wrote a couple of different songs that kind of really had a very specific, not only content-wise, like thought process. The contents were all about the same. The theme was all kind of there. Although I made them over the course of a couple of different years, I realized hearing them in different kind of forms, one before the other, that it all kind of sounded really cool together. I have a track on the project called These Days, and I wanted to call it These Days mainly because I think the name kind of speaks for itself, and where the whole idea of the whole project itself kind of has this anxiety-ridden, questioning yourself, talking about coping, and like, you know, just a little bit of the darker side of anybody's personality. But you know, what I really came down to was These Days really harbored a lot of my actual specific thought process, and really like a fight between you know, myself and my inner thought process. So I really wanted to just kind of name it after that. I think it's just the trouble that we have these days, like the things that we're dealing with these days. Like, it's like me explaining to you how I'm dealing with things these days. Like, how are you these days? And this is my the song that you're listening to now is actually called These Days, so kind of going with that, you know, it was my answer to what everybody was thinking about.
So, how long in general did this EP take you?
Days.
These days. These, if that was a number. I would definitely weird enough, like, I'm okay with it. It takes me a good amount of time. I like to take time to write my stuff. Like, I don't push things out very, very fast. I kind of like sit with them. I write things out and take things away and write them and take things away. Overall, it probably took me 2-3 years.
What does this project like really mean to you?
Dude, I mean, These Days is my favorite. It's my baby. I wrote this one a long time ago, and everything that I talk about in there, and even just how I rap and just like my confidence in it makes so much sense to me as a person. If I were to walk up to anybody, I would show them These Days. Like, this is me. This is what I want you to think I am, or, you know, pick up from. But this means a lot. I tell you, like, when I first started getting into hip hop, when I first started even doing music in general, the one thing that I always said was, I just want to be able to make a project that I really believe in, that I really love, that I think really embodies who I am as a person, and be able to put it out that everybody can easily access it. I want people to be able to look up Lundy and whatever and be able to find me, and music lives longer than us, so I think that was just the whole idea. Like, I just wanted to create something that lived longer than me.
An artist really is their portfolio. You know what I mean? So
just like photographers have a portfolio for pictures, and
be able to be like,
this is it.
Here's what I do.
But there was nothing, you know, I went through that phase of SoundCloud and, like, you know, having my certain songs and certain things and projects that I did with other people. You know, mixtapes, yeah. And I had a lot of that stuff out. I have 2 full ones, but, you know, for the most part,
that are dope, and they are on Dat Piff if you want to check them out.
Boy. But, you know, at some point, you take yourself a little bit more seriously, and you gotta level up. And this is my level up. I wanted to get my music and a body work out so that no matter who I talk to, no matter where I run at, you know, people will be able to find it and just be able to. So this means a lot, man. This is like years in the making. This is like 10 plus years of, like, you know, a thought process and a dream that I went on. So waking up today and being able to search myself was...
That's insane.
Absolutely crazy.
I can't even imagine.
It was really cool, bro. I did it last night at midnight a little bit, but I didn't like sit down, search myself up, and like listen to the project until this morning.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even sleep last night. I just like, I kept having dreams about me dropping a project, so I woke up super early and just had to like get it over with.
What's cool is that's coming from an artist that has like successful YouTube videos and like has plays. Yeah.
Lundy, we were just listening to SOC.
Yes.
I wanted to ask, why is SOC your intro song? And what does it represent to you?
SOC stands for Stream of Consciousness, and
I actually didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I either fought with, which is actually, this is a fun little tidbit. Me and Andrew had talked about it a couple different times, if you remember. When I was trying to name the album, those were the 2 names that I was going up against, was calling it These Days or calling it Stream of Consciousness, and letting the first track be titled SOC. So I think those 2 things would have made sense. Like, people were like, oh, the album's called Stream of Consciousness is the acronym for it. But I just thought that These Days was just such a more appropriate, and of course, like, the song These Days is like my baby, so like I think both of those things really tied in together, so I called it that. But SOC stands for Stream of Consciousness, and what I really was kind of going for with that one was just like a really, really overly raw take of where my mindset was at. Where it was a really, I know it's an intro, and we can call it an intro song, but I really don't actually see it as like an intro type situation. I really consider it its own song. It holds a lot of body, it holds so much
It's
water.
a heavy message.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of things taken away from me just rapping at you. So I think it was a great start to the project itself. Shout out to Mike motherfucking Mass. I finally found a Mike Mass beat that I could really put to work, and I thought I really wanted to not only do it justice, but start the project out right. If people were gonna come to me and listen to a project from me, and especially if some of the songs that I had put together on it maybe had been out before, and maybe you're an older listener, or even if you're a new listener, hear some of these songs that maybe I performed or whatever, there should be one or two other songs that are brand new that you've never heard before, and I just thought, gotta have it out the gate for everyone. So everyone, no matter what, if you've heard me before, if you've seen me before or not, gets to start off this project brand new. You know what I mean? This is a brand new song that no one's ever heard before all across the board. So not only did I want to come out the gate like just hard, but if you listen to the lyrics...
getting a Mike Mass beat, I mean...
Yeah, I just wanted to do him justice so bad. But if you listen to the lyrics, it really is just kind of like a copious thought process of... honestly, what the rest of the whole album is going to be about. It's almost like if you were to write that introductory paragraph in an essay.
That's how I think about it. I think of it as the introduction paragraph.
Yeah, it's really nice to hear me raw, hear my thoughts, straight out, stream of consciousness, very unfiltered in a sense, and it has everything to do with what's going on right now. And
I'm gonna play that one again.
Yeah, and it's super dope.
I think what's so great about this song is it cuts deep from the beginning, dude. It cuts so deep from the beginning. There's one thing about this album, guys, when you listen to it, is it really means something. It really cuts through your veins pretty deep.
Everything means something.
Something is going to relate with you. You're going to find something you can relate with, and you're going to feel it.
I've always had a really... I'm sorry if I cut you off. My bad.
Go ahead.
I've always, that's why I take a little bit more time than I think a lot of other people do when I'm writing songs. If somebody gives me a beat and I listen to it and I feel something, I take time with it because I sit in there, I sit in it like a room,
take time.
Yeah, I sit in it like a room, man. I think that's the biggest reason why, when our conversations that we've had with Kid Cudi and stuff like that come into play sometimes, because I like Kid Cudi because I can sit in his songs and it creates a whole environment for me. So that's what I kind of do a lot of the time. Is when I hear something, I hear the beat first, it takes me somewhere. I feel I have a picture in my head, it puts me in a mood, I sit in there like a bubble, and I write to that. And I think that's why it takes me so long, because I don't wake up every day wanting to sit in that bubble. I don't always stay in that bubble. I'm always doing stuff work like a normal person, but sometimes you have to recreate it over and over again. Sometimes it's not always perfect. Sometimes you're in a different mindset other than times, sometimes I can't picture it.
That's one of the tough things about making music in general.
Yeah. But it's great to have that time to yourself as well. You realize and figure out a lot about yourself when you take time and hang out with yourself and know your own psyche and are able to bounce ideas off your own, whatever. Because sometimes you do hit that bubble and you hit it perfect and you just write it out, or I basically put in and want to create atmospheres with every song that I want to be able to pass on to other people. Yeah. And especially important because shout out to Rob Larry. I don't know if you guys can see this, but
I really want to hear the story about
Rob Larry, dude. Okay, so there was a good friend of mine who passed away last year in COVID. This is Rob Larry.
That's Rob Larry.
Rob Larry. Notice the red and black. Yeah. Notice the steez, the drip.
Yeah, they see it now.
Yeah, baby. So basically what happened was me and a bunch of friends, we went to school together, yada yada, and we all skated together. We had a group that we all skated together with. My boy Carter, shout out to Carter. He played baseball with this dude, Rob Larry, and over time, they became friends, and he brought him over. Now, I don't know what it was about him when I first met him, but I don't know if you've ever had that, but when you first meet somebody, sometimes you just really don't like them. I'm not gonna say I hated him, but I will say he annoyed the shit out of me for the first few months.
A lot of my good friends have been like that.
Yeah,
actually.
dude, it was really weird and I only say it was really weird because.
God damn it, I got a cramp. Sorry.
Oh my goodness, is it because of the tequila?
Jose,
Jose, what did you do to Austin? Austin, Jose, what do you have to say for yourself?
God damn it, Jose, what you doing?
Damn, baby.
What are you doing?
Oh my god.
My leg!
Holy shit.
My leg!
Jose's crooked, but it's so right. Look at it.
It's still, I think everybody's gonna be yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. It should not be straight on. Alright.
Anyway. So
I gotta check this water.
one of these days, Rob Larry also skated too, apparently. So.
But the big thing about Rob Larry was what he did for you as far as rapping goes.
Oh no, yeah.
He opened a portal that you never thought you would even walk through.
Oh no, yeah.
Anyway.
I guess like fast forward into it, like I met Rob Larry. I didn't really like him that much. We skated together a bunch of times. Over time, I kind of really started growing into him. But the one thing that he did that made me really solidify our friendship was I saw him freestyling all the time. He freestyled all the time. He loved hip hop. He loved music. We both were from New York, so we had a lot of like bonds when it came to that. But
Ethereal Raccoon said, laugh my ass off, man down.
Yeah, man down. Dog. Austin's man down. Dude.
Austin's normally man down.
Austin was sleeping on the couch really weird and fell earlier too, so you have no idea how funny that is. He was man down all day.
Can I show him actually how I was sleeping?
No.
I think I could.
No, too much.
No.
I
don't know how
so basically there was one week, fast forward, we got a little older, whatever. I'm totally fucking with Rob Larry because I see him out, freestyling. I know he's really good at it. Very much a lover of, Brooklyn hip hop or just hip hop in general, but we had something to connect by. Eventually I saw him freestyling all the time, and it was something that I wanted to do forever. I was coming from a band where I played drums that didn't work out, but I was in this loop trying to figure out exactly what I was supposed to do, especially with music. Like, where do I go? How do I start? I didn't even think I'd be a rapper. It wasn't like I immediately stopped playing drums and was like, I'm gonna be a rapper. But I saw Rob Larry doing this shit, and it enticed me so much. I loved hip hop already, and I was just like, man, I wish I could write like that. And so there was this one instance of time where he had issues with his family, and I was living by myself, or I had some roommates in the area, but he literally lived in my room for like a week. He needed somewhere to stay. I was like, come stay with me, man. I live with some friends and blah, blah, whatever. So he lived with me. He wasn't at my apartment. If I wasn't there, we always were together or whatever. But every morning for like a whole week and a half, we woke up every morning and we would play instrumentals. He would play instrumentals. It was something that he liked to do. He would just listen to instrumentals and he'd just be rapping. Yeah. It was just something he loved to do. Practice, call it meditating, whatever. Practice. But he just loved to do it. And so he would push me in those sessions to rap with him. Because we would do it at parties and stuff, and I would only feel comfortable if he did it, because I would just feed off that energy. But then he lived with me for like a week and a half, and every morning we just did that, and I became more and more comfortable, more and more with somebody being like, just say whatever in front of me, it's all good. And we just became so tight through that. He became like my brother through that, and there was even times after that where we'd be at parties and he would push me into like ciphers and full circles with people without him being there and stuff of that nature, and like I killed out a bunch of them for that shit. So like it's up to him, bro. I give it up to. He was my guru. He was my shaman, hip hop shaman. He was the person that really just solidified the idea that I could even be this, especially for not having a skateboarding background and not being like the most African American person, whatever. But follow what you want.
Fun fact, I met Lundy the first night that I met him. We were at a party, and he was rapping at the party.
I was actually about to ask how you guys met, because I know Kona has been a crucial part of your, your success and your, with your music.
Anybody who knows me, or anybody who knew me back then before I was able to actually meet Kona would tell you that the way that Kona met me is exactly the way that I met everyone who listens to my music now. Is through that process, and Rob Larry moved to Brooklyn, so he moved out of Tampa and he moved back to Brooklyn, so I didn't have him by my side 24/7, but I had already like taken the skills that he taught me, and what basically ended up happening was like, I'm not in a band, I'm not anywhere, I'm by myself, what can I do? And I knew I had a lot of friends, and I was always out and about, and like my best friend, shout out to Ryan Wilson, I just burped. We
Hail Hawaii.
Hey,
Jose.
And then Raul Rivera said, "Are all three of you guys gay?" No, all four of us are.
Yeah, all four of us. Jose Cuervo. He's got us feeling real.
Nah, bro, we're just from Florida and we'll steal your girls.
Yeah,
so
bring right, bro. Fuck all your shit.
Woo. Peep the chest hair.
Woo. Diversity hire, fucking over here with the blue-eyed blonde hair, over here with the man chest and the chain. Get the fuck out of here. Don't bring your girl around us, bro.
She's gonna want to hang, bro. She's gonna want to chill.
Definitely don't bring her around this guy.
Basically, I was freestyling everywhere, bro. Like, after I realized that Rob Larry had pushed me into situations where I had to be in ciphers and, like, was just rapping at people or whatever, I found myself rapping at parties everywhere. I thought to myself, if
all
I could...
over the lower Tampa
not,
area.
And here's the greatest business model of it. I taught myself that, like, being out in the open was the best, because here... I literally said to myself multiple times, if you cannot be in a studio recording to make music that people can listen to, then you need to be out in front of people rapping absolutely everywhere. That was my forum. And people were already learning that I was freestyling anyway, so it made it very easy. I'm always at parties. Like, it's a perfect venue. Like, I'm literally at parties all the time. They're playing rap music, get crunk. I'm just gonna start fucking freestyling every time. I could have been that annoying ass dude that people were like, oh, Lundy's here, that means like he's gonna freestyle. But they started pinning me up against people. It was like a bracket. Like,
the show that Lundy did, like right when I met him, he was on the flyer as Lundy, the EDM freestyle artist.
Yeah, I want to get it.
And he would literally go into like one of the best rave EDM type music club in Tampa.
Factoria.
Well, that
shout out to Chris.
Like, maybe Amp or like.
It was Factoria.
Oh,
yeah,
that one was at Factoria.
It was that. Yeah, it was.
But you did Amp too.
I have done Amp before. Yeah.
He would just go there, and also DEFCON 1.
Shout out to Nigel. 2
Nigel.
weeks. You'll meet him in 2 weeks.
So he was doing that. He still does sort of dabble in the freestyling in the EDM realm, which is really random and cool.
Raul said, damn, I wanted a train ran on me. Well, I'm sorry.
But then he also said that Jose is his cousin.
Jose is his cousin.
Which would make the train incest, which is bad.
Yeah.
Explain like the story of you and Kona meeting.
I mean, that's literally how it happened.
So, okay, actually, I know it more in depth because I actually, it was me that met Kona, right? It wasn't Kona that met me in that sense. But if you really think about it, from your angle, you definitely met me, but I was brought to you, for sure. Right. It wasn't like you came to me. And so, okay, so...
Lundy was recruited.
I was recruited. So, me and Kona met. Basically, what was happening is through that whole, like, process, I was freestyling everywhere to be known to man. And I work at Carrabba's, still work there currently. At the time, this was probably like, I forgot what year, it doesn't matter. But I was working at Carrabba's, and shout out to Chad Weaver. Okay, so I worked with this dude named Chad Weaver, and he came up to me, and he had hung out with me a couple of different times outside of work. At least knew that I was doing music, whatever case may be. He came up to me and was like, hey man, I know some people, and a bunch of people that's probably around your age, whatever, a bunch of musicians, you know, producers, all the things that me being the free agent that I basically was, just going to fucking back patio parties and like all this shit. Like, somebody finally came to me and was like, hey, I can get you in a studio, I can get you recorded, I can get you with other artists, I can get you, like, you know, a space. And I was like, hell yeah, man, like, let's go, dude. Like, I have only had to do this 2 times in my whole life where somebody came to me and was like, hey man, I got these people who can do some shit, let's get in the room and do it. That was with my band one time. I felt super uncomfortable. I went back another day for that, and that's how we created Edison. This one was much easier. I met Andrew at his place one day. You know, I was able to...
I thought we met at the place that Ashley Price was staying at.
Oh, so we did meet at a party.
At a party.
Okay, was that the party?
Chad brought you to a party.
Okay. So we did meet at a party, and that made a lot of sense because I remember that. I think it was the reason why I didn't remember because I think I left much earlier than everybody.
Yeah. I only met you for like 2 seconds. It was like, what's up? I saw him freestyling in a group of people, and I was like, wow, that's amazing.
So basically, yeah.
Nice to meet you, bro.
I was basically at a party. Somebody, shout out to Chad. Chad brought me to a party. He introduced me to the group of people, like RVE. When we finally got
that already
RVE,
started in a small way.
People.
Small way.
We
had a group of
of friends, but it wasn't necessarily brought together like the Justice Friends yet. Yeah. I think it was just one of those things where we had all of these people, and those were your friends and people and I got introduced to that group. So like, yeah, we were at a party, we got lit, and I rapped to them like I would to any fucking person that I had been doing it. Eventually, we were able to shoot the shit, exchange numbers. We came together, finally going to his house. I remember I will always remember this because like your little studio place was just like the vibes were there, man. Like
because we had paintings all over the wall, and it was just a 1-bedroom apartment with all my shit in it.
Little studio, little studio, a little like living room, bedroom. He had his bathroom, shower, and then like a little space for a little cubby like kitchen and shit. But like, dude, we would be rolling like 5 to 8 people deep like on a regular night, just chilling, bro. It came down to the fact that like I actually really loved his beats. He makes, you know, hip hop, boom bap style, but like outside of that too, he's not boxed. So, like he makes so many different kind of things that like for me, it was new. I just wanted to rap on anything. So like
my drums are like, I think my sample usage and my instrumentation is somewhat boom bap, and then I like to mix in a lot of futuristic and like trap style drums.
The thing with Kona's beats,
you do have a futuristic sound. That's a really good word to describe you.
The thing with Kona's beats that I've realized, and I'm sure you have too, obviously, you know, you like beats that take you on like a trip, right? Kona does that. He has futuristic beats that will put you in like fucking space. Yeah. He has beats that will put you on the beach. He'll have beats that will put you in the grave sometimes.
Even when I was in my band, I always used to describe.
That's a huge compliment.
I used to describe it as like Manchester Orchestra, where they like start one way, that's A point. You somehow get to a B point, which has nothing to do with A point, but somehow the transition from B point to C point gets you back to what you were hearing at A point. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's this whole thing where you're like, oh, I started here, oh my god, I'm here, it's so epic, and then you come back to something that you heard before, but is a little different.
Yep.
Like, dude, that's how I feel like that's how I also came from like I said, I came from just wanting to rap.
Thank you. I think I'm Lovely said, are y'all a band? Kind of. You guys want to give me some?
Start it off, Lundy.
Ba-doom boom. Ba-doom boom. Beat up bop boom. Ba-doom boom. Did it beat by? Beat up beat by. Boom 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 boom. Ba boom. Ba boom. Ba boom. Ba-doom boom. Ba boom. Ba boom. Ba-doom boom.
Bow.
Woo! You know what I'm saying?
You know what it is.
We out here. Yo, up and coming. We got some King Store, bro.
No, but we make hip hop music.
Yeah, we really do. We rap like a motherfucker.
Speaking of rapping like a motherfucker, you actually had this one bar on, I think it's These Days, where you said, when I've been smoking the devil's lettuce and said that you're getting farther from heaven.
Ooh,
that is These Days, yeah.
Bar,
I too want to talk about this bar.
That's a hard ass bar.
Yeah. Do you want to know something specific, or you want me to just explain like the whole thought process?
Bro.
All right, so the actual like breakdown of These Days, although the album is called These Days, and like we were talking about before, it's kind of a reference to like how I'm feeling these days. Like if someone was to ask me, what's going on with you? What's new? Like this is my answer. All of these songs, but
here it is, right?
You're hearing it right now. This is These Days.
These days,
these days, and the way that I would want people to listen to it is it's a conversation between me and God. So like the very first verse is God talking to me.
Oh.
It goes through the bridge.
Oh my god, I didn't know this.
I didn't know this
right
either.
Here?
This changes
Hold
my...
on, turn that, we gotta hear this now.
Hold on, let's run that back.
Yeah, replay that.
Hold on, so pause it. I'll pause it real quick and then I'll explain it. So
Lundy, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either.
That's
yeah, no, I thought I explained this to you.
I didn't know that.
Dude, I thought I explained this to you. So yeah, like, okay, so These Days is a conversation between me and God. And starting off, the very first verse is God talking to me.
Uh-huh.
And then the bridge happens. God's talking to me through the bridge. And then when I say, well, my God, it transfers.
Oh!
It's me talking to God. And everything from there is my side of him talking to him.
Mind blown right there.
Yeah.
All right, first verse. Here we go.
Is this it?
I want to hear what you're talking about.
No, it's this one.
No, it's this
one.
No, but it's
right.
loud over there.
All right,
They're different volumes.
Perfect. We're good. I might have messed up your so I hope you.
It's okay.
All right.
I'm trying to do
Listen
better
to it in that thought process.
Here we go. All right. So this is God talking.
Right. around of the strive and struggle to reach one potential that's deep within. It was much deeper than the lights in your eyes, me shadow a doubt. Let's demonstrate from your core, bearing all the scars of their badges from way before. You've been blessed, shit you've been messed with. Your heart is getting so cold, your aura glowing so warm. The irony here is bold. I need you to understand why I created chaos and stuck inside of a man. Why I believe in you and it's evident that you can't. Ain't got nothing to lose but the ink inside of your pen. Nothing stirring you as a heaven-sent instrument. Man, that's critical. The bars are irrefutable, and every day creating something beautiful. The cards are on the table, nah, this shit is never news to you. So shuffle up and deal them out. These suckers wanna follow suit. You wanna give up on this life some days, despite some days they see you in the light some days. The world will wanna throw you shade some days. In me you pray survival from the depths of grave. Well, my God, I think we set up for agree to disagree. Intentions turn into vengeance when the ground touches my knees. The judgment that I'm seeking when I'm looking to the sky. Same judgment that keeps me questioning spiritual suicide. I'm just a man, breathe in, blowing out all the pressure. Not the tension, the cannabis on my dresser. 7 days a week I be hitting the devil's letters. That means 7 times a week I get further away from heaven. Everything's in perspective, everyone feels deceptive. Trust written on my neck, you can't expect it. Got hate burning in my chest, I can't neglect it. So I'm just trying to hawk it out like lemon jacket. Man, I can feel I ain't the same no more. It's okay, cause I've been changed before. I just need to turn it up.
Yo, Lundy's one of the best in our city.
Next, I want to move on to the reset. That's my favorite. The reset is my personal favorite.
Yo.
So
Describe
what the reset's all about, man.
So when me and Andrew met, we all made a bunch of songs. RVE was created. We had a very good group of mad people and great artists that got together or whatever. Fast forward a little bit, we all started making music, we all started doing stuff. Maybe there was some miscommunication, maybe there was just different vibes going on.
Everybody's just trying to live their life, trying to make it in a
were
world
all
that's crazy,
in our,
you know?
Yeah, I would say the youngest was like 19, 18, and then the oldest being me was like 25, 26 in that time. And everybody in that, I feel like your early 20s going into your mid 20s, like everybody's trying to figure themselves out. It doesn't matter if you're doing music, it doesn't matter anything. I think it doubled down on artists in a sense. So we had a group or people that, we're all going through our shit. Double downing on certain groups working with each other, plus double downing on the fact that we're all just growing up and trying to figure our shit out. So basically what ended up happening was like by time, me and Kona had really, solidified a lot of things. We did a shit ton of shows. Shout out to Kings of the South Coast. We did a bunch of these things. Eventually all of us kind of like split. There's no really big answer on it. There's no really whatever.
Well, for me, it was pretty. I was pretty directional. I went off into a career.
I'll be real, dude. Like I remember which is great because we always have Tuesdays off now. This is a thing that we used to do back in the day too. We always had Tuesdays. We took Tuesdays off, and we were always at Kona's place recording, no matter what we were doing. Even if you weren't recording, if you wanted to come and hang and just bring that vibe, it was cool. We were all just chilling. Eventually, I remember coming over to your place. We'd be chilling, and we just weren't doing anything. Like, there'd be times where I'd come over, and I had these days, I had the reset, I had, crazy. Not crazy came a little bit later, but, like, at least these days 100%, and, the reset, like, ready to go, ready to record. If we hadn't really, like, recorded yet, I think these days and, the reset kind of were recorded, but we could have really worked on it a little bit more, added some more stuff to it. At the end of the day, like I would just show up and we weren't doing anything. We were just like sitting around and like it is what it is. And eventually it just kind of came to the point where we weren't just getting together at all. And so there is a time frame that we weren't getting together at all. And I think that shit fucked me up for a really long time. It took me a good year and a half, right under 2 years to even start writing again because I was just so detrimented. And if you think about it, I came from my band. I didn't really mention it, but the way that I got from my band to hip hop was like I got kicked out of that band for no reason. I won't go super into it unless we want to talk about it later, but I got kicked out of that band for no reason. And I was basically dealing with a whole other group of people that I really loved and I really found my niche into, and then essentially the same thing was happening where we all disbanded, and for no reason I was like, why am I left with nothing? So in this time frame, I was able to write to the reset, which the sounds, if you hear it, it kind of is on edge. It almost sounds like it's just all these like random things. It kind of like for me, it put me on edge. And I think that's how I was feeling in that time. And shout out to all my heads. I love tripping. I love tripping, and this is the transition to it. I love tripping. There was a time in that time frame where I tripped. I would trip at least once a year. I would take some mushrooms or do whatever. I always try to plan at least one time a year to just trip with my friends or with a certain group of people, whatever.
I did the same thing.
And if you look into it, if you do some research or whatever, some people refer to their trip sessions as a reset.
Yes.
Yep. And it's really like resetting your mind, resetting your stress, resetting your whatever, having that one good day in a controlled environment, whatever the case may be, or however you like it. But people who trip on a regular, on a base like that, they refer it as reset. So that's where the reset came in mind. The actual beat itself made me feel very anxious and whatever. So basically, I tried to write a letter to myself in that, and just the thought process, like, I needed a trip. I was going through a situation where I couldn't do what I wanted to do. I didn't have the avenue to do what I wanted to do. I was scared and didn't know what to do because all my friends had kind of like disbanded. I didn't know how to like really pull it back together, and I found myself back into a situation I was way too familiar with.
Yeah.
But tripping came down to a good part of me. I tripped and I was able to write this song, so I was like, hey, I want to come up with something that kind of reverts to that. Also, I have a bar in there that's called set and setting, and if anybody trips enough or knows, there's another term too. Set and setting is the term for when you're taking mushrooms specifically, because it's a bell curve. You know how like when you, assuming
yes,
when you take shrooms, you
it
start
goes
off
like this,
it's a bell curve. You get to a point, you get to that point where you are tripping.
Yeah.
That point that's right over the back half where you are tripping, but you're like really cool with it, and you almost are chasing it, and you don't want it to go away.
Right.
That's called set and setting.
Right. The
The one time that I've actually tripped on shrooms and I had a really, really bad time, like a bad trip, was I had taken the same shrooms the day before. Not enough to like really like go full blown, but my boy had a bag of shrooms. We had all, with a group of friends, decided we're gonna do it, but we were doing this thing called Black Eye Wednesdays, and we had Wednesdays off, and me and my nigga were like chilling, and he was like, hey, I got this bag of shrooms that we're gonna take tomorrow. You wanna take like a gram, less than a gram of it, and just like see how it tastes and whatever? I was like, yeah, whatever, we're just chilling, Black Eye Wednesday, right? So we just did what we had to do, and you know, it was a fine night. We didn't do anything. Nothing crazy happened. It was just whatever. But the next day, like,
you should have called it BMW, Black Man Wednesday.
Bro, it was fucked up. The next day, like, we took probably each right under 1.5 grams, probably like 1.2 grams, something, you know. And
dude, the cool thing about
the worst trip I've ever had.
Dude, I will tell you, like on my bell curve, I just started singing like Michael Jackson.
Hell yeah, dude.
Rock with you. All night.
That's me, Jason, JC. Oh, that's my brother.
Oh shit!
Oh,
Jason! What's up, bro? Jason, have you listened to the project yet, Jason?
Oh no.
Talk to me. Let me know. Let me know what you think. Do I say the N-word too much? Jason, did you meet Jose?
No, I did.
Oh yeah.
Many times.
Here's
Jose. Hey, Justin,
This is our special guest.
Jason.
Jose.
This is our guest today, Jose Cuervo. We're celebrating. He's celebrating with us. He's nice by the fire. He's keeping us warm as well. Jason, how many knives do you have now? And Jason, I need you to be in my music video playing with those knives. It's coming up sooner than you think, so be ready.
So, Lundy.
I also may or may not have a knife for you. I don't know. I think it might be my girlfriend's side.
Lundy. So when I know in my personal experience with death shrooms,
Death shrooms, as they are now known.
I was definitely still in my mind a lot. So what do you mean by I'm just stepping out my mind for a second?
I honestly,
You say in your mind. He says out his mind.
Yeah.
I think that has something to do with the way that you guys both think, maybe.
I mean, tripping is different for everybody anyway, and I think it really does come down to a specific, experience. But what I will say is, like, if we're talking specifically about my mindset when I was writing this, I wanted to make this song more relatable.
Yeah.
And that's what it came down to. I wanted to write about something that maybe not everyone would understand, and they're like knowing what set and setting is, knowing what reset is, knowing what psilocybin is, like all of these certain terms that I use in the song.
Trying to educate people.
You're
a teacher, bro.
I wanted to make the song more relatable, and so in a sense, I basically was trying to paint so much of it. What I've realized in a way, like sometimes when I write, I try to write more simple than like using big words.
Thanks for stopping by.
you know, I don't want to have to use huge ass words, SAT, you know, like sometimes I just want to paint a picture, and sometimes painting a picture and making it more relatable is using simpler words or whatever. Right. With the reset, I definitely just wanted to paint more of a picture to make people understand who maybe don't, you know, trip, or maybe haven't taken anything or whatever, or really stepped outside themselves, like to make it still a conscious thing, like to make it a song still about fighting your subconscious in a sense. And I feel like that's what the song really still does. Like it still goes back and forth with the idea of fighting your subconscious, finding like your deeper inner voice that tells you either to do something different or to worry about shit that you don't want to worry about. It's still an anxiety-ridden song. It's basically all about anxiety, but I have touches of, terms of tripping in it. You know, yes, I do. So, now, I wanted to make it work. I wanted people to just be able to listen to it no matter what, and be able to understand what it feels like to try to step out of your own mind to like understand what your subconscious is fighting you against, and feel that battle. Can I talk about my bad trip?
Absolutely, let's go.
Sure. So like this actually came after I had my trip with both acid and shrooms in the same night. Like,
you took both?
Oh, I've taken both. My best. That's a whole other story too. I'll try to fast forward that story. Basically, I was hanging out with my group of bandmates. One of them picked me up, and he had told me that two of our other bandmates had been out already and they were tripping. And I was like, word, whatever. So we had some drinks. We went out to go meet them. He actually ended up scoring like a gram or two of shrooms. So we started tripping on shrooms prior to us meeting up with them. So that we're tripping on shrooms, they're tripping on acid or whatever they're tripping on. We're both tripping. We finally meet up, and then we do our night. At some point, this whole thing is being really hectic. It's hard.
We're trying to get you back in the camera.
At some point, we all start like doing our thing. We're all tripping together. It doesn't matter. We end up at this party. We're all, we've all been tripping for a couple of hours. So, I've already taken 2 grams of shrooms, and then this will be the first time that acid was introduced to me. Like, oh, we took 2 grams, or I hit acid. Okay. Well, now we're at this party. The dude who sold us the acid was there. So I'm coming down after a couple hours of like tripping on shrooms, and I was like, I kind of don't want to stop, right? So I was like, this might be the perfect time to like do some acid. So I bought this acid because it was super cheap. It was like $3 a hit, something really retarded. I was like, yeah, I got $3, so fucking yeah. But I've never taken it before, so they're like, hey, hold it under your tongue and leave it there for like 5 minutes, and then you're gonna go.
$3 a hit? That sounds scary as hell.
Whatever, bro.
Oh my God.
So I buy a hit and I put it on my tongue and I'm chilling, but I get kind of nervous in a sense. Like I've never done it before, so I'm like, how long does it sit on your tongue? Like blah blah. It's just like this thing. So I end up swallowing it after like 3-4 minutes, something like that. And I told the dude, I was like, hey, I've never really taken this before, but like I just swallowed it and it's only been a couple minutes, and like all of these people heard me and they were like, oh, like dead ass. And they were like, is he gonna trip? I don't know. Like who's he gonna hit? Blah blah blah. So then he was like, well, I don't know, man. Like blah blah. And I was like, all right, I gotta buy another one. So I bought another one.
My God, bro.
Yeah. So I bought another one and I put that under my tongue, and I made sure that one stayed under my tongue for like a good amount of time. And then I let it do what it's gotta do. So yeah, I thought I was
Lord, no.
Yeah, I thought I was coming down, and I wanted to be on the same levels as my friends. So me and my friend were like, oh, we'll just buy some acid. Bought the acid, put it on my tongue. I didn't think I kept it there that late. Eventually I asked him again. He was like, I don't know, blah blah. And I was like, I bought another one. So I was on 2 hits of acid and like about a gram less than a half of shrooms at the night. And it was honestly the best trip I've ever had.
I thought you said it was a worst trip.
No. I'm leading up to that. This is so I want to tell you that story. The worst trip that I ever had was Black Guy Wednesday, where I took little bit of shrooms the day before, and we kind of like chilled on that. It wasn't a big deal. The next day, we all took 2 grams worth of field shrooms. And
don't mess with them field shrooms.
So we were out, and
the field shrooms.
We were out, and one of my friends wanted to buy a game at GameStop, and I was in GameStop, and I don't know if anybody's ever been in GameStop, but they have checkered
Everyone
carpet.
here, it's Reddit.
Yeah, they have checkered carpet in some of their stores, and it started moving really hard, and I was like, I'm not about this life, so I left. I got in the car. The whole way to the car, I felt like really crazy, and then when I got to the house, I basically got to a point where like I was very much incapacitated. Like, I could not move. I was like stuck in my friend's hallway next to his room. Like, I couldn't talk. I couldn't do anything. And what you felt like you were kind of just like in this bubble or like kind of like in your mind a lot. That's exactly what ended up happening.
That's what a bad trip is when you're stuck in your mind.
I felt like if you could like play a minima, like a cinema version of like you going up against the wall, you know, like trying to break out of it and seeing everything that happens, but like breaking out of it, like and you can't break the glass. Like that's what it felt like, but it happened for like 3 hours and I couldn't get out of it. And then when I did come out of it, it literally felt like I had been held underwater for that whole time. And when I came out of it, I was like, I took a huge deep breath and I was okay for that. I had a leg twitch for like months after that. That kept happening, but like, yeah, worst trip ever, dude.
Yo, literally, that's how I thought it was. Like, that's how it felt, bro.
You're stuck in your head and you couldn't get out. Everybody around you could see you and talk to you and be like, hey, are you okay? But you couldn't speak. You couldn't do anything. And then eventually, after a couple hours, you just broke out of it. And it was just,
I felt like I was in like, I was on a skyscraper up against the glass, like pressed up against the glass at the end of the glass. Like, I felt like I would have. Like, I felt like I could have fell out. Like it was like an ego. Like I felt like my ego could have just like dropped. Could have just like.
My brother's leaving, but he said Taylor walked in and wanted to know what you're talking about, and she said, "Shrooms are great. I love them. They're beautiful."
I walked his sister down the aisle like she was my partner, and she was like, "So you're the rapper, right?" That's how we met. Like I literally had her on my arm. Like
Taylor don't give a fuck,
we were
dude.
practicing. Like it was the rehearsal dinner, so we're practicing how we're walking down. And you're like, okay, Justin, this is Taylor, blah blah blah. And like arm wrap, we walked down, and she was like, "You're the rapper, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Cool." What's really weird was that was my worst trip, but like I was still surrounded by people that I knew and cared about. So like. That made it not that bad. It was the worst trip I had in a sense that like I would never want to go through that trip in a sense again, but like I couldn't have been in a better place to deal with it.
Right.
So I think that's why it's super important when you tell people who want a trip or like go through that kind of stuff, like yo, like even for your first time or whatever, like do it in a space that you like know and do it with people you trust because something bad could happen. But your friends and people who you really care about can guide you
Have
through
a sober
all the
person.
time.
Have
Always,
a sober
bro.
person.
Which has been pretty interesting. I haven't done it in a while, but like through COVID, I was microdosing here and there, and to try like a little bit of this, and not enough to like really break the wall, but like enough to kind of like spark your mind a little bit and give you a little bit of energy and feel like outside of yourself is dope.
Which is what the medical field has been testing for years and years. Mushrooms are going to be the next thing. As soon as those pop up on the stock market, you better buy them. But we are not financial advisors. Nor do we condone any drug usage.
Buy Doge. Buy Doge. It was up 25%.
We've never done anything.
Up 25%.
Allegedly.
It's almost at $1.
All of this was fiction.
Yeah.
We did tell you to buy Doge like weeks ago.
I don't mean that.
All right, so we were right.
I don't mean to change the subject, but I do. So, the next question I wanted to ask is, in kaleidoscopes, you say, what do you do when you're locked in a cage? To me, I take this, is this the cage you speak of, your own mind?
Yeah, basically. In a roundabout way for sure. It's definitely not. Once again, I try to write things so that everybody that listens to it can like feel like they're talking about themselves in a sense too. That they feel it, that they're there with me. And Andrew has been with me. The very first mixtape.
I really want to go to Kaleidoscopes and like listen to the bars.
Okay, sure.
The very first.
Well, he has bars in all of them, but
the thing about Kaleidoscopes is that it's very.
Hits home, dude. It's
actually, I would say, is the most personal song.
It's deep cutting.
On the album, and the thing with that is that it kind of plays into the ties with like Four White Walls. And
I was about to say that.
If you look on SoundCloud, I have a mixtape called Four White Walls,
which
and that's
is
where it all
a
kind of starts
dope ass mixtape. It
pretty
is
cool, dude. I
fucking
think,
fire.
I will always, dude. The fucking track that we did with fucking with Alex, Psychology. Shout out to him. On a Tyler the Creator beat. Like, I cannot hear that Tyler Creator beat any different now, to be honest with you.
Wolf was the beat, right?
Yeah, it was really wild. Like, trust me, anybody who's heard that beat, anybody that loves Tyler Creator will, like, know this song. But if they heard our version of it, you'd be like, damn, they really did
a
really good job.
I liked
it's
it better.
Really crazy.
I love Tyler the Creator, but I liked their version
one of the songs
better.
where I'm like, every time I hear the beat, I'm like, all I remember is the way that me and Psychology went on that shit. But either way, you know, well, you were saying, like, are you stuck in a cage? Like, it kind of comes with the whole idea that, like, you're fighting your anxiety. This whole song is really specifically about anxiety and coping.
Okay.
Specifically with drinking.
So real quick, I actually like the lineup you have because you have kaleidoscopes right after the reset, which the reset you are talking about anxiety. You know, it's very anxiety filled, and now you go to a song on how to deal with the anxiety.
Yeah, well,
I like that concept.
I definitely feel like the reset, even though there's still a coping mechanism behind it, as far as like, you know, tripping, psilocybin, stuff like that nature, it still embodies like the actual feel of what it feels like to be in an anxiety state. The whole song itself with the extra booms and some of the extra, you know, the 808s and like some of the extra things that go on in the background, it still kind of makes it feel a little bit more anxiety ridden. I wanted Kaleidoscope to kind of do the same thing, but on the opposite spectrum. Way more chill, way more sluggish, you know, still feeling the effects, but on the opposite side. One night you could be all over the place on top, your uppers in a sense, and Kaleidoscope is the downers. But in a sense, I specifically wrote Kaleidoscope around drinking. I mean, that's how I kind of looked at it. That's how I kind of looked at it, you know. Yeah, the reset was gonna be like the uppers. It's way more of it almost seems like it could be a club banger in a sense, but like it's more of the 808s. It more feels like what you feel like when you're moving around. It hits you and you're like, oh, you're like moving and you're constantly doing it. But Kaleidoscope is like the morning after for sure, and it has to specifically do with drinking. A lot of the undertones of it has to do with drinking crack one open to get me through all the highs and lows. It's talking about drinking, and that's just specifically for me. I don't think I have a drinking problem, but I definitely use drinking as a coping mechanism. So.
A lot of people do. You say, confessing it all, going from heaven to hell, slightly enjoying the fall, feel way too close to the sun, didn't get noticed by God. That bar is fucking insane, dude. I want you to like go more in depth on that, because I know with the whole EP in general, you know, you're very spiritual in it. And, you know, I feel like a lot of people can relate to this, because how it hits me, Lundy, is that, you know, you're in this depression. At least for me, this is how it hits me. I'm in this depression, and it's getting worse, but it's comfortable, it's very comfortable. You're like, okay. It's kind of like false hope a little bit. Like, you're like, all right, you know, I could just like
enjoying the comfortability of your situation.
Exactly.
Whatever.
Which is very scary, because it can become your identity, and you wonder why God made you this way. You know, your anxiety, stress-filled person with a dark cloud over their head some days, these days. And then debate is, for me, is there really a God? And if there is, does he really want me to suffer or prosper?
Right. No, it's
how
really,
it hits me.
No, I mean, like, I love the different aspects of how people look at it, and I love to hear like your thought process on it too, because honestly you're not too far off from where it came from. You know, I come from a long family of very Christian and religious people, and you know, obviously with being African American, the Baptist culture really spreads through that, and I think that's where it really stemmed from. My parents by no means, I want to make that straight, were pressuring me to be in, you know, religion at all. But it was just growing up, it was a part of my life. Like we went to church, we did our thing. I have crosses literally on my hands, like just as a thing, you know. Like it's always been a part of my life. Like my dad and my grandfather, specifically my grandfather, has been a pastor of a church for over 50 years. That on a church that's been around for 100 years. So I basically come from a very long lineage of pastors, preachers, motivational speakers, stuff of that nature.
That's why he has this voice. This beautiful
so
voice.
The biggest thing that I always try to combat in this, and same thing when I say like with the way that I write, I always want to write in a sense where other people, I'm talking about myself, but I want other people to be able to like put themselves in my shoes too. Like it's always a thing that I've always said about myself. Like if I had one ability that I think everybody else in that is, I want to be able to step out of my shoes, step out of somebody else's, and really be sympathetic, empathetic. Like I'm really good at it. Yeah. So being able to step out of myself and write certain things is important when it comes to that. But I think that's where it really came down to. When I'm talking about being a Cajun or like seeing God and like being close to it. It's that whole thought process, questioning yourself whether as you get older, is this religion good for me, or is God even real, or even on the backside. Drinking too much, taking too many drugs. How many people have godlike experiences through that, and questioning whether it's real, whether it's a thing, and coming out on the backside. Some people who have been in religion their whole life question on the negative side, but some people who have never been in religion before take drugs and then are on the positive side and be like, I saw God. How close can we get to it? Is it a question? Is it real? And I think that's the biggest really thing that came down for me. Once again, it came from my perspective as being like, didn't get noticed by God. It's a sense of an achievement. I'm trying to achieve something. I'm trying to
be noticed by God
the whole time of leveling myself up, being trying to write as good as I can, trying to be the best version of myself I can, trying to be as God-like I can be. But is it real? Is it an achievable goal?
Would you say with these days coming out, God is he's gonna start noticing you?
Man, I always.
Can I answer the question for you?
I don't know. I mean, my answer is going to be different for you. I would love to hear your answer.
My answer would be that God has always noticed Lundy,
right?
And that his struggle within that is kind of like, just really embodies the struggle of man on Earth. And it's a very universal thing. I think that's why it's so relatable. But Lundy is an extremely talented and gifted individual that has always been able to excel. Dude, I cried when I wrote about. When I wrote "Don't Hold Me Back," I cried, dude.
Dude, that is legit like the biggest thing.
Let me cry on this motherfucker. Let me cry on stream.
That is legit like the biggest thing I've noticed about this album, though, dude. Like, I hear
I'm watery-eyed right now, but I mean that,
You're very spiritual in this, and I actually, dude, when I first met you, I didn't take you as like a very spiritual being.
Which is actually really crazy because I thought the very first conversation that we had outside in the outside of the RV was like very in there, because we were talking about something specific that we both have gone through, and the ideas that I had and what I had gone through and being on the outside. I wasn't definitely talking down to you. I didn't want you to think that this is what you do and this is all you do. Yeah. But like you had understood that like I had gone through it and this is what I did to kind of be on this backside. Absolutely. Where in a sense that you were trying to get your mind at. Right. And I loved that conversation because I knew that you knew I wasn't talking at you or anything. I was just explaining my situation and being like, maybe this is something that you try. And at the same time, like it was our first time meeting, so I was like, hey man, like we're friends at this point. Like now, like we can be friends and I can always help you with that. So I think it was a beautiful thing, you know. I don't know. I guess I've always been spiritual, even though I don't necessarily feel like I'm spiritual. I feel like energy exists, and what you put into the world is, and what you want to get back is like a whole 360 of everything. And I think it's just it's crazy. If you want to put negative shit into the world, that's it.
Before we move on,
you got a couple comments here.
Before we move on, 1992 was a good year. Said, let's give a quick shout out to Christina Applegate. I believe that's a porn star. Let's give a quick shout out to Kat
Christina
Dennings.
Applegate? I think she's
Kat Dennings.
I think she's
a
porn star.
I don't think so.
Kat Dennings.
Christina Applegate, isn't she the chick from the Who movie? She's like the blonde chick that the Grinch is in love with.
You're beautiful.
Oh!
The way that your eyes glisten against the darkness of your hair.
Hey! 1992. What do you have with Christina Applegate?
I don't even care about your
movies. Do you feel the same way about Christina Applegate that Lundy does about
Kat Dennings?
I don't care about your past relationships. All I love is your smile.
Oh, it is her.
Your red lipstick.
Yeah, that's her.
Hey, shout out to her. She's hot.
Sweetheart's on deck, nigga.
It's Lund's Day. Lundy just dropped his album on Apple, Spotify.
I didn't know he was going to use sockets. I didn't know he was that.
Some crack rock.
Yeah, baby. Crack rock. All right.
He said, I don't think it's as cool as Florida, to be honest. Never been there, but yeah, haha. It's not. I mean, Florida's amazing.
What is it?
So,
Romania.
Oh,
I mean, Florida is... Where else in the fucking world would you want to live?
So, Lundy.
Tampa Bay, baby.
Ireland.
What the fuck is in Ireland?
Green pastures.
We got green pastures here. Just go out to Lakeland, bro. What the fuck?
Not that you want to die in. You want to die in Lakeland?
No.
Hell yeah.
This man said green pastures.
You want to die in Lakeland, nigga? Hell no.
Out of all the things,
you want to die
it says green pasture.
Have you ever seen The Sound of Music? That was filmed in Ireland.
Austria.
It said green pastures.
Because it's like Nazi Germany and shit.
Oh, okay. Why am I the only one?
Maybe you're right. I'll look it up right now. Hold on. Maybe Germany.
Austrian border.
Fuck!
I know my fucking Sound of Music. Let's go.
Next question.
All right, next. This isn't really a question. I just want to give you your props on this one. Because you also have another bar.
Back to PBR.
In Crazy, where you said, Heaven and, you say, met the devil and spit some mad lyrics, and hell, it's mad lit with no ID clearance. I swear, I think I'm a regular there. What the fuck? What do you mean by that, bro? What do you mean you're regular?
So funny when somebody says it outside of...
Yeah, I don't know. This guy got
He got triggered.
He got lit.
Revolutionary Fact got triggered.
He said, you guys can't tell the difference between Ireland and Austria, so look who's talking. Look who's talking about what? I mean, we are the one who's talking.
We're talking about Florida.
And you are looking. Anyways.
That's true, you are looking.
Hey, dude, I'm not trying to act like I'm, like, geographically
Hopefully
correct.
You're not clicking off.
I don't fucking know, bro.
Hey,
that was the whole question. I asked if it was in Ireland. Somebody told me it was in Germany.
Follow us, bro.
You already clicked off.
We can fix this.
You already clicked off.
You don't know the geographical layouts of countries? Fuck! You guys are fucking drinking Jose Cuervo after putting out the firest hip-hop fucking album.
It's not firest, too.
And you don't know the geographical fucking latitude and longitude of fucking Ireland or Germany? Because that's what I came for.
No, you came for Cat Dog.
Jesus fucking Christ, bro. I'm sorry. I haven't had to draw the fucking United States or the continent since I was in fucking 8th grade. I'm 32. Holy shit, bro. I'm so fucking sorry. I asked a question. Get mad, dude. I bet that motherfucker doesn't even live in either one of those countries. Why the fuck is he even getting mad, bro?
Let him know, family. Joe heard him!
Joe heard him! You are so... I wish you were here earlier. This dude trying to get on me about my geographical knowledge, and I fucking let him have it.
Joe, say
from the streets, bitch.
Joe, say hello to Jose.
Yo, on fire, bro. How do you feel about it?
Oh, I love it.
Yo, Joe heard him. I know you love us. You're always here. We love you. I dropped my first original project. It's on all streaming websites.
Woo! Yeah, Revolutionary Fact actually stayed. Like he stayed for your rant here, Lundy. He said, "You're right. I don't live in these countries."
Oh. Man,
hey, props, bro.
Lundy's not a dick.
Look, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but when my longitude and latitude is being questioned on the day that I dropped my album, okay? I'm gonna need you to go listen to it because that longitude and latitude is gonna lead you right in the heart of Brooklyn, New York, motherfucker. Woo! And that shit's gonna be lit. And if it doesn't, then it's Tampa, Florida, because I don't know my longitude and latitude clearly because I don't know Ireland versus Germany. You understand what I'm talking about? We all have mistakes, okay?
You ever notice when he gets mad, he like bounces off his chair
and
he vibrates? Like he fucking vibrates.
Of them all.
The whole RV shakes.
All Revolutionary Fact hits you back, Lundy. He's like, I don't need altitude, longitude, but attitude.
Woo! Bars.
That was bars.
Damn,
cheers,
Daddy.
Motherfucker.
Damn.
Jose, you're going back.
Okay.
Going.
Okay.
Back.
Hold on. I don't need to be affiliated with a hater. All I need to do is be as warm as the equator.
Whoa!
Lundy, so you were explaining before we started reading the comments that, you know, I want to go back over it again. You said, met the devil and spit some mad lyrics, and hell, it's mad lit with no ID clearance. I swear, I'm a regular there. What do you mean by that?
I think it was not only a I know. I know that it was a reference.
Sometimes
like how
we
we
talked
about my whole time in between my band and like me and Andrew or whatever, like I was just always out. Like I was always out freestyling, I was always rapping. So I think it was like a really cool, funny reference to like go into, as in this is my hell in a sense. Like this is the worst part of my part of me where I'm coping by drinking, I'm coping by being out, I'm coping by seeking people's approval and stuff of that nature. But it is a full-blown reference. God.
You keep moving out of the camera, bro.
That's gonna be the first clip, like just three or
a
5
full-blown
times,
reference to like me really being out. So the idea of Puff trees, give blazing vibe with it. Can waste on my minutes on peeps on my shit list.
Actually
Met the devil and spit some mad lyrics like me meeting the devil. And like this is my hell. Like the worst part about it is that I have to feed into the worst parts of me to show people the best parts of me. If that makes sense. Like the best parts of me is when I can rap and where I'm showing them my you know, what I'm capable of, but I also have to be fucked up and be at a bar and drinking super hard to do it. So met the devil and spit some mad lyrics, and hell is mad lit with no ID clearance. So like funny enough to be like in bars where people don't ID and stuff like that. You know, like so I thought it was just funny.
Fire is fire.
Yeah, it's a way once again for people to kind of like be used to that thought process.
My favorite track on the album, personally.
Shout out to Corey Gibson.
This is the one that we're talking about.
Can you
right now.
like
it's called Crazy.
Play it and I'll tell this story in a minute.
Yeah. Roach said we got the world on our hands, so we're the only problem in it. Word for the man.
False advertising.
Yo, keep going, dude.
Flipping this shit, saute this beat up with the flick of the wrist. They always wonder, but they none of their business. Done forgot what fucking sympathy is. I think that I could be a jack up on trains if I kept offset all this pressure today. Papa's Annie, just the subside the pain. Retrospective only adds to the haze. It does up only really adds to the craze. Yo,
am I crazy?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Are we crazy?
Hey.
I was say no.
Puff trees get blazing vibe with it. Can't waste on my minutes on peeps on my shit list. Met the devil and spit some mad lyrics, and hell is mad lit with no ID clearance, I swear. I'm guessing I'm a regular there. Torture my spirit cause I'm being sincere. Too hot for tears, nigga, throw me a beer. Pretty sure that I'm not making it clear. Even this car is getting harder to steer. This is a nightmare, no matter all the tight gear. No matter all the people clapping, screaming, tripping right here. Trumpets running shit, how the hell I live without fear. Pawns in the streets playing God with the right gear. Thinking that I'm gone, man, I'm trying to shoot for light years. Presence of a god, man, my flow is fucking top tier. Yeah, I don't need to go and boast myself, but half this track I went and roast myself. Asking y'all, man, am I crazy?
That was a double entendre too. Like half this track I went, or like I don't mean to go and boast myself, but half this track I went and roast myself. So like the whole second verse was me talking about being in hell.
Yeah.
So I talked about that, but also the whole idea of the whole song is asking like if I'm crazy. So I'm roasting myself, telling me I'm crazy. Like am I like? So yeah, it was like, you know, the whole thing was really cool. Be like, hey, Instagram me when I walk out, but I thought that would be super narcissistic, so I was like, don't do that.
You should have told me because I was slow on the trigger, dude. I was like,
but that's why I kept dancing though. I danced for like a solid minute. I came out all slow. I did my thing. You didn't even know.
What are 5 key things or like pieces of advice you can share with the audience that you learned in your 32 years here on Earth?
oh, he had to shout out how old he was.
Yes, I mean, hey,
You already
dude.
did.
First of all, I'm 32 years young. I've been trying to tell Austin that whole time to stop
bro.
saying that.
32
years
I
young.
said 32 years.
First of all, black don't crack. All right, I'm out here. If there's 5 things that I could go down the line and I'll just say things off the top, and I hope I get to 5. It may not even be that much, but
okay.
The very first thing, 100% is be yourself.
Okay.
Be yourself, dude. 100%. You were selling yourself. And when I say selling yourself, like I don't mean like selling yourself in like a, you know, in a corporate way or whatever. I'm saying when you put yourself in this song.
You wouldn't even meet someone as a friend.
Every time you put out a song, every time you put out a project, every time you put out a picture, every time you put out anything, you were selling yourself. Right. You were putting out your personality. So the one thing that I always hate is when I want to buy into someone's personality and they're faking it. That's not their personality. When I actually meet them, they're actually dicks or they don't act like that or whatever. So like, act the way that you do. Number 2, do what you love. Don't make music just because it's popular. I know for a fact, I get it,
not
that
just music, though.
people are doing whatever they want to do because it's popular. They see it on TikTok, they see it on Instagram, they see it on Facebook. These are things that are getting viral. Don't do things just because they're going viral.
Be the one to make it
If you actually want to be successful and longevity-wise, the key word is longevity, and that goes for the last 2 answers. Longevity goes for like, be authentic. Be yourself. Do your own thing, come up with your own idea, be original, and don't just succumb to the idea that the first few weeks that you did it, you only got 20, 30 views and you don't know where you're going.
Unless you're really beautiful and just do whatever. If you're really beautiful, do whatever everyone else
They used to say, and quote me if I'm wrong, for hip hop artists, like they used to say all the time that like you have to put 10,000 hours in. 10,000 hours. Just because you open up a Twitch account and you play video games and you do it for a week straight doesn't mean you're gonna have what it fucking takes to put it out there. There are people who've done beyond what you've done for years and they're still only at like 700-800 people. That's a lot. So still not a whole lot, and they could do more. But that's the difference between you and I.
Are you saying for number 3, put in the work?
Number 3, put in work.
Okay, yeah.
Put in those 10,000 hours.
As they say in Black Clover.
And that's where I'm at right now. Yo,
there is only results.
Say it with me, say it with me. Fucking surpass your limits.
Oh, push past your limits?
Surpass your fucking limits. I know, he thought about it.
Well, he watches the Japanese version and I watch the English dub.
What do they say in the...
They say push past your limits. So he watches the Japanese version, I watch the English version.
In the Japanese, they say surpass your limits, yeah. Either way, surpass your limits, man. You also are the own curator of what you do. Nobody, and this doesn't have anything to do with music too. If you want to get a new job, if you want to get that girl you always wanted, if you want to get that new, whatever,
do
whatever
anything in life,
you need to put in that good energy and you need to put your best foot forward, which means that you need to surpass any scary thought process that you think is going to be scary. Because for the most part, a lot of us, the scariest part is change. We're scared of change. We're so used to the bubble that we've accepted ourselves in, and we've done that every day for X amount of years. But the one thing that comes out, even though it may be better for you, it seems scary because it's not something you know. But sometimes you need to just have a leap of faith and go into it. That's 3. Number 4, I would say, is have good taste. Okay. Have good taste. Actually, let me change that. I'm not gonna say have good taste. Be sympathetic. Okay.
Whoa.
Let me go sympathy, empathy. My greatest quality that I think if anybody ever asked me, what's your greatest quality, what do you love about yourself, is that I can take myself out of my own shoes and step myself into somebody else's and really understand where they're at. Now, there's a very big difference between empathy and sympathy. Right. If you've never been through that situation before, you can't act like you know what you're talking about. But that's also what sympathy comes down to. Yep. You can have sympathy and feelings for somebody that you care about and that you really care about other people and understand where they may be coming from and how that may be feeling if you step out of your shoes and step into somebody else's. I promise you, the whole world, not just the USA, everywhere would do better. Do better. Look to your left, look to your right. If you don't know that person, trust me, they are going through something that you don't know about. Okay? I've worked in hospitality so much, and trust me, I have a hard time with people, but I love people because I understand that thought process. People are always going through stuff. I'm going through stuff. Kona's going through stuff. Huddle Vision's going through stuff. We're all going through stuff, and we can't act like we're always there 24/7 to understand it. Especially if they're not in your family, especially if they have nothing to do with you. So open up a door for somebody. Say hi to a child. Maybe buy some candy or something. I don't know. Smile a little bit. Do something nice, dude, that's outside of yourself. Stop acting like the whole world is circled around you and that everything that's going on with you is the only bad thing that's happening.
The shrooms will help with that.
Okay? And then number 1 is my biggest thing that I have learned is that if you are going through a bad time, if you are going through something that seems like you are hitting a brick wall, it's probably because you need to look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself why the fuck you're letting yourself be this angry about something that has nothing to do with you.
I'm looking at the man in
the mirror. Woo!
I'm asking him to change his ways.
Here we go, one more time with the chorus.
I'm looking the man in the mirror. If you want to make the world a better place, you gotta look at yourself and make a change.
Hey, look. I had to look at myself in the mirror and ask myself why I was coming home every day to my girlfriend and being pissed off. Because I was allowing myself to be pissed off. Nobody's doing this shit to you, dude. No one is doing this shit to you. You are allowing yourself to wake up every day, go do something that you hate. You're coming home, you're attaching that hate to you. No one is going to drop anything into your lap. You have to work for everything. This life was not promised to be easy. And so, honestly, half of the fucking journey is the bad shit. If you cannot look yourself in the mirror and be like, hey, I'm uncomfortable with you, I need to change you, I need to do whatever. You need to look the devil in the fucking face. Just like I said in Crazy.
Are you calling
Met the
yourself
devil and spit some mad lyrics. Like, look in the face and of the devil, of your past self, of your negative self, and move on from it. Because that's where trauma lies. Yeah. People go through trauma, and I actually read a tweet that was like, people who dealt with trauma act the same age that they dealt with trauma. If you think about that, think about it.
That's when they stopped
living. Gibbs Platinum's back.
Hey. It's a crazy thought process. So stop doing that. Just deal with your trauma, look it in the face, look in the mirror, and ask yourself what you need to do. That's it.
Lundy, I want to thank you for the advice that you just gave, because like those five key components are pretty big, man. I'm sure a lot of people can get a lot of value out of that. And I also just want to give a shout out to my man Jose.
Jose Cuervo.
Special guest.
Jose, you got anything to say?
Drink responsibly.
Nah, this shit is never news to you, so shuffle up and deal them out. These suckers wanna follow suit. You wanna give up on this life some days, despite some days they see you in the light some days. The world will wanna throw you shade some days. In me you pray survival from the depths of grave. Well, my God, I think we settle for agree to disagree. Intentions turn intervention when the ground touches my knees. And the judgment that I'm seeking when I'm looking to the sky, same judgment that keeps me questioning spiritual suicide. I'm just a man, breathe in, blowing out all the pressure. Not the tension, the cannabis on my dresser. 7 days a week I be hitting the devil's lettuce. That means 7 times a week I get further away from heaven.